Itching to head to Disney? The top-notch team of travel advisors at my travel agency, People Mover Travel, are experts in all things Disney. From the parks to Disney Cruise Line, they are your personal travel advisor from the moment your trip is booked until the moment you get home. They can book your hotel, dining reservations, tours, and we continue to monitor special offers to ensure that you're getting the best price for your trip. And it's not just Disney. We have experts that specialize in Europe, cruises, all-inclusive resorts, Alaska, Hawaii, and more. Find out how we can personally help you plan and book your next trip for free. Visit peoplemovertravel.com to get a free, no-obligation quote and find out how we can make your next trip anywhere more magical. People Mover Travel, the official travel agency of the Disneyville podcast. Because your vacation shouldn't feel like a homework assignment. Welcome to the Disneyville podcast, episode 39.
This may be our most special. I'm sorry, everyone. Grammar police out there. Truly our most special episode yet, because we have a very exciting announcement. Some of you guys may have guessed based on the last episode.
Couple times.
Maybe the last few episodes. What are we announcing today, Tyler?
We have officially launched Disneyville merch.
Not the way I taught you. Okay. If you're watching, you can see I'm trying to show you without the mic in the way. I'm wearing the Disneyville sweatshirt.
Yep.
With our magic logo, we call this. With
that
the
has
sparkle
the
and the castle.
Yep.
And then
I have the hat on. And so this also has the magic logo, which includes the little castle and all the stuff. But I was looking at it, I'm like, I don't know that I would wear it with, all the, as a guy wearing it with all the sparkles and stuff like that. And so I was like, can we do something a little bit more subtle?
Classic, too. You were wanting it to be kind of classic.
So we're doing a classic logo version as well.
That basically is, go ahead.
It's just the word. It's just Disneyville.
Why can't I do this? Hold on. I'm trying to cover up. There we go. It's just that and bigger and centered. And here's the thing. We were really picky, and we'll only talk about this for quickly because I know some of you guys aren't interested, but for those that are, we were really picky about what we were launching and feeling it and making sure it all felt high quality. So everything right now that we have launched is embroidered. The hats, we have t-shirts that have the logos on them. Some of them, if you don't want it in the center, can be on like the left area. And we have both logos on all of the things. So sweatshirts, t-shirts, and hats. So that's it for now.
Yeah, we have other ideas down the road.
Oh, yes.
But right now we were like, let's do a launch, make sure everything goes well, but then also just do like the classic things, the things that will probably always be there, and then down the road we might do some other fun things.
Tyler has a note that is long of all of the ideas we have.
Yeah. So I'm wearing the magic logo today, but I actually just ordered the classic logo one today that just has the word on it, which I think is cool.
So yay for that. To shop it, I guess we should share that with you, huh? You can go to our website, which is welcometodisneyville.com/shop. You will see it all there. And then on top of that, we'll have the link like on our Instagram, which is of course Disneyville Podcast. We'll pop it on to this video. If you're watching the video version on YouTube, we of course will have it linked below too. Yeah. So yay for merch. We finally did it, you guys.
On the website, if you could just go to welcometodisneyville.com, you can't miss it. We have it right
You'll
on the homepage. So anyway, very, very exciting. Many, well, I guess 2 years in the making, however long it's taken us to get here. Yeah. But today we have an awesome topic that is near and dear to my heart. And if you can tell, we've switched out, if you're watching the video version, we've switched out our shelf back here. So you might have some guesses. Also, the title of this video when you clicked on it, or this podcast. We are talking about Disney's Castaway Cay. Now, here's the question. We forgot to do something on our Instagram. I was going to ask. We
might have to pause.
We'll ask here as well. Do you say Castaway Cay or Castaway Key? Also, piggybacking on that, do you say Caribbean or Caribbean? Oh. I say it differently depending on whether I'm talking about the movie or the ride. Or
I say it differently depending on my mood, I think. I always say Castaway Cay. I will say that. I've never.
Yeah.
I don't say Castaway Cay.
Well, but see, here's the problem.
I think I used to probably when I first.
Here's the problem.
I don't know. Heard of it.
I have in my head, ever since we said we were going to do this episode, the Cocomelon Lane song stuck in my head with "It's a great day on Castaway Cay." That's what
wow.
my head. So that's because day and K, those have to rhyme. So here we are.
Apparently, Disney at some point made merch, and it was a rhyme, and it would only rhyme if you pronounced it Castaway Cay.
Really?
I can't remember where. It was recently that I saw it. So I'm like, how funny.
But the other part, Castaway Cay 5K, like that's supposed to rhyme, right? So the Castaway Cay 5K.
Well, the plot doth thicken.
I don't know.
I don't know. So anyway, let us know.
So shall we delve in to some fun things about Castaway Cay?
All right, so let's give you a little primer. I know many of you guys know this, but some of you may not. So for us, let me back it up even more. We never tried Disney Cruise Line really until we was our first one when I was pregnant with our oldest.
Yeah. So we had a baby moon, and that's when we did it. Now, I had been on it before as a travel agent. I did like a ship tour, but we had never been like actually on Disney Cruise Line until our baby moon.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people that are Disney Parks people eventually want to try Disney Cruise Line. But I remember back in the day, I would listen to podcasts, and I would always be annoyed when they would do a Disney Cruise Line episode because I'm like, I don't care. So some of you guys are maybe feeling exactly that way. I totally get it.
Yeah.
That is exactly how I felt. I get it. But I think a big part of the reason we ended up falling in love with Disney Cruise Line beyond the obvious Disney things was Castaway Cay.
Yeah.
And what's funny is the first time we ever did it, though, remember it was too windy and we couldn't dock.
That's right. Oh, I forgot about that.
We just got to like look at it. We never got to go on it. It was awful.
I forgot about that.
But then, of course, eventually we did. And one of the trips we did, wasn't it a double dip where you got to go to Castaway Cay 2 days? That was amazing. That's apparently, we learned later, a very popular one. Now, they, of course, have their new private island, Lighthouse Point. Mm-hmm. And that... I've seen they have itineraries where you go to both Lighthouse Point and Castaway Cay. So someday, maybe. But we have been to Castaway Cay so many times. It is now one of two of Disney's private islands in the Bahamas.
Yeah. And it was one of those things that I am so glad now that we've done it because, like I said, like you said, we used to listen to these podcasts all the time, and I was like, I don't get it. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Whatever.
Yeah.
If you're watching the video version,
shut up about the sun.
If you guys are watching the video version, I have a lot of B-roll that we can put over here throughout this episode to show you what we're talking about and give you an idea. But I will say, like, that is one of the things. Like when I'm daydreaming, a lot of times, like I'm daydreaming about being on Castaway Cay. Like,
I actually am too.
Like there's something about, I don't know what it was. It was funny is the first couple times we went, like. Genevieve was too young, hated the beach, hated the sand,
was
hated
like
the water.
scared of the sand.
Didn't like she just sat there and ate her.
She was like an old lady.
Yeah.
She had like her towel over her. She wanted to be in the shade, which was fine, of course. But yeah, she just wanted her snacks. Didn't want to touch sand. Didn't want anything to do with the ocean. It was so disappointing.
But it was still such an enjoyable thing, even though it was like we were
disappointed for her.
Oh, but it was so magical. So it's a relatively long stretch on this island. And I was just looking up a couple fun facts here. Mm-hmm. So before we really delve into, so come to find out, it autocorrected. Now I forget what it was called. So it used to be called like Goda Cay or Goda Key, something like that. And it autocorrected. Now I don't know what it actually was.
Thanks, Apple.
But for a long time, it was actually an island for misfits. It was not a very nice island, I guess I'll just say that. And then it was eventually bought by Disney in 1997. It was like a drug runner island.
Oh,
got to find out.
Disney said, "Well, let's clean this up." Jeez.
So in 1997,
Gorda.
Okay, I did. Yeah, it changed it to Goda, Goda. I'm like,
that's
no, that's
crazy.
Not right. So in 1997, Disney Cruise Line bought it.
Sorry, I just saw the history you found. Wow, that's crazy.
So yeah, in 1997, Disney Cruise Line bought it, flipped it. Literally, they flipped it upside down. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I was like, what?
I
love that I believed that, though. I'm like, oh, of course they did. Disney.
So there is a little bit of movie history here. The movie Splash, starring Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah, had a little scene that was filmed here when they first meet. Apparently, it was filmed on this island back when it was the old island before Disney bought it. Isn't that kind of cool?
Yes.
So that was filmed there. And supposedly, a lot of cast members have brought up that Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, was filmed there in part. But a bunch of other people have looked into it and they were like, that's not true. Or it was like that the Black Pearl was like sailing in front of the island, and then they used like CGI to basically make over the island. So it was used, but like not really. So if you hear a cast member saying that, it might be true-ish, but it's like with a glint in your eye. Anyway, here's a little taste of Tinseltown for you.
Ooh.
And
tinsel taste. Tinsel taste.
That's okay. We'll go into more of that later. But that's a couple little fun facts to get us started there.
Thanks for the history teaser or the fun fact, whatever.
Whatever they are.
Tinsel taste.
What?
It's Linda Belcher.
Yeah, but tinsel taste. What?
Because you gave us a taste of tinsel.
Oh, taste of Tinseltown. Got it.
Okay.
All right.
So.
Oh, and they signed a 99-year lease. That was the last thing I had written down.
Ooh, okay.
So we got a while at least.
How many years are we in? It is one of those ports where if you've ever been on a cruise, sometimes you'll pull up to a port and you have to get on little dingle boats. Tenders. Dingle boats seems
I think you
right
meant
though.
dinghy.
Dingy.
A and B.
Dingle boaty. Okay. So this is one that you don't have to get on a dingle boat. You get to just walk right off the boat, right onto the island.
Which is nice.
And it's all paved to get to where you're going, which is really nice, especially when you're dealing with like kids and if you've got a stroller, which I think usually we don't. Like when they were really little, we might bring our travel stroller.
And it folded up, but
I don't know that we even brought it like to the beach. I don't remember doing that. But you could because the walkway's paved. So if you really wanted to, you absolutely could.
I think I remember folding it up and putting it on the tram to get back. So I think we did at least one of the times.
At least once. And actually it was nice because it can hold like the towels and stuff in them.
Yeah.
So anyway, you absolutely can if you were curious about that. But yeah, you walk right off and then it's kind of a longer walk on this paved walkway to get to the actual beach area and restaurants, basically where all the action is. But they also have a free tram, open air tram that you can hop on. Again, you'd fold your stroller.
Yeah.
But you can hop on and it'll have multiple stops on the island to take you around. Because it's not humongous. I think the island, it said it was like 3 miles by 2 miles.
Right, overall. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like the craziest, biggest island. But if you're walking it, I mean, that
I would say
adds up.
at a leisurely pace from the ship to the far reaches of the main family beach area, it's probably a 18-minute walk, 20-minute walk. Mm-hmm. It's not terrible, but it's not short by any means.
But once you hit the first family beach area, I mean, that's maybe 10 minutes.
Exactly. So there's basically two. You get off the ship, and there's a decent walk if you walk it, or you can get on the tram and have the tram take you. You go over a little bridge that says, like, welcome to Castaway Cay, and it makes you so
lots
happy.
of good picture spots.
There's a couple spots right there where sometimes the characters will be meeting. We've met Goofy there. We've met
Donald and Daisy
there.
playing in the sand.
Yeah, they have a couple different ones right off that little area, so you can kind of then keep going. And there's 2 rounded beaches, not unlike a buttocks, if you will. And it goes around these 2 different family beaches. I like the further beach.
Yeah.
So if you can, I would say get on the tram and take that over.
Yeah.
We've walked it a lot of times because we did have the kids. And like I said, I know we had the stroller at least one.
We were just like, oh,
it's just easier to just push
because again, yeah. But also if it's like usually by the end of the day when we're heading back, we're like, all right, our feet are tired. We're tired. The sun was hot. We're just tramming it. But yeah, so either way, you can do it either way. And I feel like we never have waited long for a tram, like maybe a minute. They're just constantly going. Yeah. One of, I think, the most important things to know is what is actually included on the island.
Right.
And as we were kind of writing this script for today's episode, and I was doing little recon on some other sites to make sure we didn't miss anything, a lot of people, as I was searching for it, were asking this exact question. What is actually included on the island? Like, what's free? What are you paying for? Because with Disney, a lot is included. So, we've paid a lot, but at least. So, towels are included. But the biggest thing to know is that you have to get those towels as you're getting off the ship to go to the island.
Yep.
Because they will not have towels to grab once you're past the ship area. Mm-hmm. I watched a few people, one of our first times when we knew like, oh, we need to actually get the towels now. I watched a few families not grab them. And I heard someone say, oh, well, we'll get them later on. And at the time, I wasn't sure. I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe they do have them. And then I paid attention and they don't. And so I was like, oh, man, that family's probably really regretting that. So anyway, really important to know because unless you're bringing your own towels from home, which would take up a lot of room in your luggage.
Which is a little bit, I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit of a pain because
why can't they
we
just
get 2
be on
towels per person typically, like one to lay out and then one to actually dry you off. And so I'm like, I'm carrying this giant stack of towels, like if you're walking all the way down to the other end. So it'd be nice if they had them, just like, a lot of places do that.
Why not roll them up and offer them over there? I know.
Yeah, I know. I feel like
because they'll collect them over there. There's areas where you can put your dirty towels closer to. You don't have to bring.
Okay,
yes.
I don't remember that. I thought you had to bring
I remember there being like a big bin, remember? Well, either way, I might not be right on that. Okay, nobody trusts me.
I might not be right. So yeah, I'll have to look. I feel like you had to bring him back, but maybe
I feel like there was like a big bin. Anyway, okay, not really important. You'd figure it out while you're there because you'd already have your towels. So that's important to know. The towels are included, but make sure you grab them on the way out. They have so many. Like you can grab as many as you want. Chairs and umbrellas are included, and this is nice. I mean, don't you feel like everywhere in Florida or beachy that we've ever been,
you always have to
you
pay a
are
daily
paying
fee.
a rental fee? Yeah.
Yep. And there's a lot. I don't think we've ever really struggled to find chairs.
Just keep walking. If you're like, oh no, they're all, just keep walking. Keep walking because there's tons.
And we've had parties like 6 or 8 people, and it's fine.
We've always been able to find
everybody,
enough.
so it's easy. Yeah.
But yeah, they already have the umbrellas up. Like they're comfy. It's the Disney way. They've done that well. So the other things included food, water and soda, ice cream. We'll talk about that more here in a bit, but all of that's included. Obviously, alcoholic drinks, specialty drinks you'd be paying for.
Right.
And then, of course, the tram, as we said, is included as well.
Yeah. It's basically, the way to think of it is it's an extension of the ship. Because it's like, you get off at these other ports. Obviously, they're real places, they're real towns. But this is basically an extension of the ship.
Yeah, it's just a created beach version of
right. So food is included. Everything you're already getting on the ship, you're going to get there too. You have to pay for alcoholic drinks on board. You have to pay for them here. But food, otherwise, is included. Towels, that kind of stuff is all there. And actually, it's the same cast members that work on the island. So you're going to see the same people that you see on the ship. You're going to see the same cast members out there making food and doing all the things.
Yeah, which is kind of cool because every once in a while we'll have familiar faces that we've chatted with. Yeah. They're like, oh, hey, and we can, it's nice to see familiar faces out there too.
So on the food front, there are 2 main restaurants. One is Cookies and one is Cookies 2, T-O-O. And they serve the exact same things. And I got to say, it's one of those places that you go up and it just smells so good. They've got these huge grills going with, burgers and brats and all these amazing things.
They have like jerk chicken and things like that.
They've got all these sides, like classic picnic sides. They've got baked beans. They've got barbecue stuff. They've got anything you would ever go to like a barbecue they would have.
They got individually wrapped chips, fruit.
Cookies. But they have all you can eat ice cream, just like they do on the ship. Yeah. Soft serve ice cream, and it is so good. There's nothing better, man.
Oh, especially after you've been swimming. I mean, truly.
Yeah.
That's like deeply ingrained in all of us since childhood, right? So they usually will have a specialty flavor too. Last time I think it was banana. Oh, yeah. I read online, someone said the mango was their favorite. I'm like, oh my gosh, they've never had. So definitely look out for that. I think you can usually do like swirl with that too.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about the food on Castaway Cay?
I will say this. It's not my favorite, but I'm always so hungry that I mow it and I'm happy. So it's one of those things that I'm like, okay, it's maybe not the best food I've ever had. However, like I said, I'm licking that plate clean. I'm so hungry, and it's not like terrible.
Yeah, I was going to say, it smells so good, and I think the food is okay, but it's also like my favorite meal because, I don't know, you're just out there, you're sitting under the things they've got built. You're just so happy to be there, and like
that's it. They got fans going.
The food is like not great, but it's also my favorite. Like it's
it's like rose-colored glasses for the whole thing. I know. And I think they had hot dogs for the kids. Yeah, I'm thinking of what I would be curious about as, with young kids. They had hot dogs, they had chips, cookies. They seemed to be pretty content with that. So I did not know this because we have not had a lot of opportunity to go over to the adults only section much.
Yeah. I went over there one time because I did the 5K, and where it ends, I could see it. So I popped over there and walked around for a minute.
I know your mom's been a decent amount, but with the kids, it really is. So first of all, the adults area is called Serenity Bay. It's on the farthest end of the island. Again, tram goes there. The tram will be very clearly marked for Serenity Bay, but it's 18 and over. So we can't even bring the kids over there. But if you were getting any spa treatments, that's where that would be. On the day of spa treatments, they mark that when you're booking it. But, they have a restaurant back there too. I had no idea. It makes sense that they would. And again, I heard it's the exact same food, but they maybe have a couple of extra items.
Oh,
I know.
Fancy.
You let us know. Do you know that's true? What are the extra items?
I want to go over there so badly. Like I said, just sit there for a little bit.
Well, you know what? We'll talk about the kids club here in a second, but they have a kids club on the island. And a lot of people were saying, just put your kid in the kids club. Then you can go over, lay in a hammock.
True. We could do that.
Whoa.
So
we'll get to that here in a second.
We can maybe try it. Like
you never know.
The second you get there, you're like, oh, ready to go back. But maybe for a few minutes.
Yeah, and you're never too far from them,
Yeah, that's true. This is one place where there is so much to do. I mean, you would never run. You could run all day and never do all of it. Yeah. You could rent bikes. You can rent snorkeling equipment. You can rent kayaks. You can rent the big
aquatrikes.
Aquatrikes, Paddle boats. There is a never
Snorkel
ending
gear. Did you say that? Yeah.
There's so much stuff that you can rent and do like water sports wise here. It's
and
crazy.
the rental fees, I don't remember them being astronomical, considering you're on a private island and whatever. And they had plenty available. Like they're not going to run out. That is one thing. You can rent some of this stuff ahead of time, like under the port adventures. But you really don't have to when it comes to those things.
Right.
Do it if you know you want to do it. You might as well do it ahead of time because then there's no, you'll definitely be good. But I have never seen them come anywhere close. And we've been on like with the Disney Wish and that being sold out and that island was packed and they were, there was never.
Tons, yeah.
That is, but there really is so much fun stuff to do. And what's so cool is you could also just take the option of just laying there and reading a book and then floating in the ocean and do nothing. And both are acceptable.
Yeah.
you know?
So if you're, real go-getter, they have what's called the Castaway Cay 5K. And so the last time I did it, we were the idea was that I was going to go run it, come back, and let Jessica go and run it. Well, here was the thing. I had to walk all the way to the beginning, and it was like a 1 mile walk from the ship to where you actually start it. Then I did the 5K, got lost, finished it, and had to walk a mile back. So really, it was like a 5.5 mile venture, and it took me, because I figured I'd go out, I was like, I'll get there, maybe like a 5-minute walk, 10-minute walk, do 25 minutes, and then be back. I was gone for like an hour and a half. So by the time it was all said and done, you were like, you didn't have time to go and do it yourself.
No, because it also started raining.
That too, I forgot about that.
So we were like, it just wasn't in the cards.
And so we decided, point of my story is, we'll get to that, but the Castaway Cay 5K is really fun. It's fairly well marked. I got messed up at one point because I'm a doofus, but it's pretty easy. And then after you do it, you get a little rubber medal, if you will. Yeah. And so it's fun to do. They didn't like verify that I did it or anything. I think they used to do it where everyone started at the same time and it was like an event.
I think it was like 8:30, yeah.
And nowadays it's just, you just go and do it. So you can do it throughout the day. I saw people doing it all day. So if you want to go with your family, what I think we'll do in the future is
all get off.
Get a spot. You do it. I'll do it maybe again.
All right, but I got first dibs next time.
100%. That's what, yeah. But the cool thing is, as you're going, in the middle, there's this big like thing you can climb up. And so you can go to the top and you have this awesome view of the whole island. You can see most of it. They have all these like wetlands and stuff like that. And I remember just sitting up there, I saw these cool birds and like you could see the ship in the distance as well. So it was really cool to be up there and like have like literally a bird's eye view of the entire island. It was a very different perspective that you get when you're on the beach.
So I haven't gotten to see that yet. Right. So that's on my bucket list this next time. So we also have been wanting to rent bikes. And what is so cool, and we were investigating this last time we were there, and we were like, okay, for sure. They have every kind of bike you'd want. They have, obviously adult bikes. They have kid bikes. They have bikes with training wheels. They have bikes, like adult bikes with the kid, like if you have a toddler, it's not that you could put the kid on that's already attached. So you can all go, we are doing this next time. We can all go, just ride around as much or as little as you want, but you can ride back to where that is.
Right.
And get on there. So I vote we knock both of those off our bucket list. That sounds so fun.
And you get to see the old airstrip there, which is cool because I don't think it's in use anymore.
Was it when they were smuggling stuff?
Maybe.
My gosh.
And maybe they use it like if there's an emergency or something.
It's like, I bet they actually just use it.
Maybe, but it didn't seem all that nice. I don't know. Maybe they still use it. But you get to like run down it, which it's funny because it's so long. When you're running it, it just seems like you could see so far. Like I have to go all the way down there.
Gosh.
You almost want a course with a lot more turns because then you're like, I don't know, you feel like you're doing something.
That's funny. I think I would prefer a big, long straightaway, but maybe I won't. I'll report back. Yeah. Boy, I got a lot to do on our one day at Castaway.
I know, right? What's cool, though, is there's about 1,000 acres, apparently, on this island, and only 55 acres is actually developed. The rest is all set aside as like a nature preserve, which I think is really cool.
I love that.
That like the view that you're going to get up there is not going to change much. And when you get up there, you see how green it all is and how big the island is versus how little the little beach area is.
That's so cool, though. I love that. Well, and I always wondered, is there like a weight limit for a smaller island like this? Like, how much could they develop it before it's like, maybe this isn't a good idea? I don't know. How do islands work? But
I haven't bought one in a while.
I know, me either. And of course, with them opening up this other one, I did wonder, like, why didn't they just expand Castaway Cay? Do you know what I mean? That was one of my first, but I'm like, hey, I'm excited to eventually one day try this new private island anyway.
I wrote it down here. It says, so Disney Cruise Line does its part to preserve the pristine island with clear turquoise waters, white sand beaches, swaying palm trees. There are Castaway Cay researchers restoring the health of coral reefs and they're transplanting long-spined sea urchins and fostering their growth. And they also protect and monitor endangered loggerhead sea turtle nests on Castaway Cay.
That's so cool. Well, there you go. There's our answer. That is so
And they
cool.
also use solar panels in the backstage area, and they're used to fuel water heaters for bathing, dishwashing, laundry, and all that kind of stuff. And there's a few cast members that actually live on the island, too, and they use those as well.
Oh.
So, pretty cool.
You're blowing my mind with that. I didn't know anyone lived on the island.
They have from what I understand, and don't quote me on this, but obviously all the cast members get off and they work the island and stuff. But from what I understand, there's probably, I don't know, 5 people that live there that are like maintenance people that like actually live on the island.
Do you think they just like stay there for a couple days and then have a couple days off? Like that would be crazy to just live there. You're not living there full time.
I don't know. I don't know how that works.
No
Maybe
way.
Amazon Prime delivers to the ship and then
maybe that's what the landing strip is for.
I don't know. I'd be curious. I should do some more research on the people that live
Yeah.
there. And maybe it's only like 2 people or 3 people. I don't know. Maybe it's 50. I have no clue. I should have done more research on that.
So I mentioned Port Adventures. Of course, that's Disney Cruise Line's name for excursions.
Shore
if you're on like
excursions, right.
shore excursions.
Port Adventures.
It does sound more fun. Some of the ones they do offer there, we've never done any of these. We have too much fun with all the other stuff.
Yeah,
but they have a glass bottom boat adventure, which I think you can do with most age kids, which is cool. Like probably if you had like a little baby and you wanted, that was one thing we always struggle with. There's only so many options for when you've got like smaller kids.
Right.
So that would probably be one you can do. They have jet skis, stingray adventures. They of course have snorkeling, but again, you don't necessarily have to sign up for that ahead of time.
Right.
I also learned if you had your own snorkeling gear, you can bring it with you and use it in there. The only requirement is that everyone in their snorkeling bay that they have roped off wears their vests.
Yeah.
They're free, but like you have to wear a life
Which
vest.
I did not like because I did you did it a little bit last time.
I did
You
it a
kinda
little
went
bit. I
halfway.
didn't go all the way out. Yeah.
So the way it works is right in the crack. They have this little separate area.
Oh, between
that's,
the two
roped
beaches.
off. That's just for snorkelers, and they've got all kind of buried treasure out there. And there's like a couple of the old submarines from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea are out there. They have a big
Oh my gosh.
Eric statue.
Oh my gosh.
That's like life size. There's all kinds of fish out there. There's all kinds of cool stuff out there. But you have to go. So I don't like snorkels. I don't like fins. I don't like any of that kind of stuff.
You just want to float around.
I just want to
You're
go
a little
swim.
swimmer.
I feel like I'm a pretty strong swimmer, but I like to be free in the water. I don't like all that stuff makes me feel like, and so I know you kind of feel the same way. You feel claustrophobic in like a mask and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I'll just go, give me a pair of goggles and I'll just go. Because I also feel like I couldn't get down very easily. Like, I don't know. I just don't like it.
Well, because you're supposed to float above.
Right. And so, yeah, they made you wear some equipment. I don't remember the life jacket. I feel like I was able to, was it a life jacket? Because I was able to go down
It's like a lighter, but it's how?
I was able to
I
go
don't know.
down to the bottom.
That's what like multiple sites said, I think, including
Maybe it was,
Disney's.
I don't remember the life.
Well, either way, you guys can verify if you were going soon or if you've been recently, if they make you wear the jackets. But I'm pretty sure.
Because I was able to get down, I remember, but it was just...
I don't know.
But anyway, my whole point, I guess, is that area is really cool. So if you do want to snorkel out, there's all kinds of fun stuff to find out there.
That's cool. So another thing that would technically be for kids, but I feel like anyone could enjoy it. They do have a height requirement for, I think, the slides, but they have this in the water playground where there's like ropes and stuff. They have a slide into the ocean, but it's kind of roped off. Like you're in the ocean, but it's, you know what I mean? It's kind of protected. There was a name for it. It is called Pelican Plunge. It's like a little miniature water park in there, which is such a cool idea. We haven't gotten to explore it a ton yet, but this might be our trip because now our oldest is like a swimmer. Yeah. Little Miss thing.
Well, and the last time we were there, we had our just floaties. I think my mom had maybe rented like tubes or something for the day.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we were just all kind of floating in, but we were in the area and just floating and watching kids and adults just jump and play and run. And it looked
fun.
So fun.
That was another favorite memory of mine was, just getting like, I think it was just like an inner tube and we were just sitting on it and floating. I was like, I want to rent that again. That was so relaxing.
Very enjoyable, yeah. Ooh, and then what our kids at that age did love, though, was the Spring a Leak area, which is like a little splash pad they have right behind the second beach. It's right past Cookies, too, I think. Right, it's close to where you pick up the bikes and stuff. They have this little splash pad area with, I don't know, it's not very big.
No,
but
it's
just
not.
some jets coming up and stuff like that. I think our kids, the last 2 times, have spent
a lot of time.
Like
they really enjoyed that, which is funny because it's the simplest one I think we've ever been to.
But they just love it.
But they love it. And especially if you've got kids that maybe aren't as comfortable in the water. We've been there. Trust me, we've seen it all with these two girls. That was kind of a game changer for us where they could enjoy the water, but in a way that kind of felt more safe to them, you know?
Right.
We're entering, obviously, the area of like, let's talk about kids stuff. So we talked about the Spring of Lake. There's also the kids club on the island.
Right.
So the Oceaneers club that they're already enjoying on the ship continues outside. They can check in there. They call it Scuttle's Cove. I wish they did a little preview where you could go, and I don't know how that would work, but because I think our oldest has not really wanted to go in it ever. But in fairness to her, she was not super comfortable with water, and I think she was scared that there'd be a bunch of water. Now she is.
Yeah.
Because I think as you're going in, there's like water, like a little splash pad or something.
Yeah, maybe.
But they play games with them. I mean, just like they do in the Oceaneers Club, they really keep you engaged. And they have a bunch of sand play in there too. So even if they're not comfortable with water at all, they can avoid water at all costs in there. But it looks like I want to go in and explore it.
I want to go in and see it.
I know.
I bet there's probably some videos on YouTube
bet.
of it. We'll
You're
have to
right.
look it up. Maybe show it to her before we go. But I'm like, dude, I want to go back and see what's back there.
I know.
It sounds awesome.
So they also have a teen one called Teen Hideout for age 14 to 17. The Scuttle's Cove one we just mentioned is age 3 to 12. They also have a game pavilion into shade. It's got ping pong, pool, basketball. So again, especially if you have older kids that would rather do something like that. They have a sports beach that has volleyball, tetherball. I didn't realize they had tetherball and soccer. I know. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Who wants to end up with a bloody nose? We had a tetherball court in our backyard as kids. And court, you know what I mean? It was just a pole with the thing on it. I ended up with a bloody nose every single month. It just, my sister would pummel it into my face.
Oh, goodness. So, yeah, they have the life jackets for kids everywhere all over the island, so that's good. They do sell sand toys. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking to buy some, they have I don't know, maybe 6, maybe not even that many, 3 to 6 little gift shops.
No, there's 2.
Well, but there's also like
but there's also
huts.
the little one that's more,
Like if you're walking back behind the beach, there's like there's 3 or 4.
2 main ones.
Okay.
But then it kind of feels like more because they have stuff outside of it too. So
Those
as you're
are all-
walking,
it's one.
it almost feels like a bazaar.
Yeah.
But then they also have an area that's got, and I think maybe connected to it, that's got more like local Bahamian wares. Like I don't know if they're actually made. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's the Disney specific branded stuff, and then there's
2 Disney ones, or there's just and then
one's
that
farther down just
I
to
see.
kind of
Okay.
spread it out.
Gotcha.
But it does feel like more as you're walking through.
does
It feels
more.
like multiple shops.
I swear we walked from like a couple different shops, but maybe we didn't.
But you can buy sand toys there, like you mentioned. And again, I have another note for Disney. I'm sure they're not watching or listening. But I wish you could rent sand toys.
Yeah, that'd be
doesn't
nice.
have to, $5. But we've bought them once because we were like, we didn't want to have to pack them, but we got little kids that just want to play in the sand. So you kind of need them in that way. But then you're stuck with, they're kind of cool sand toys, like in a nice bag, but I'm like, now we got to bring them home. So we did, but it just took up a lot of room. So,
or if you pack them on the front end, you're like, well, then either way, you're packing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, they're
So I wish you could just rent a little bag of sand toys
for the day.
I don't care if they're already sandy. They don't care. You know what I mean? Like they don't have to make them pristine, but they definitely do sell them. So, there's that. Okay. Now let's talk about what else there is just for adults. So we already mentioned Serenity Bay, 18 plus. Someday. This is where the spa treatments would be, as I mentioned. Get a massage.
Someday.
Beachside, oceanside. Like, think about that. Your mom's done it.
Yeah, a couple times.
Lucky. Well, there's bars all around, including definitely at Serenity Bay. But they have them all around. You can get mocktails, cocktails, beer. You can even order, not your mom, but someone we were with, didn't they get like a bucket of beer once
Joanna
or something like that?
once,
Yeah.
She and I shared a bucket of beer.
But did you have to order it before, or did you just order it from
I think we were sitting there, and I think somebody came over, and she and I
and it
were
was
both
like a better deal.
Right, because she and I were both going to get a Corona.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, if you are going to get
the perfect beach beer.
He was like, if you're going to get like 4 Coronas, like if we were each going to get 2, it was a better deal to get the bucket.
To get 6.
Something like that,
Yeah.
And so it was like the same price, or I don't know what it was, but there was some kind of deal they had, and so we ended up getting a bucket to share. And that's, I think, that's probably the move.
For that, if you were, multiple people were wanting to.
You can also pick up the bucket at the bar as well, but I think they
definitely come around, which is cool. I had to look that up because I'm like, I feel like I remembered one of the times when I was pregnant, I remember getting a virgin pina colada. It was I think I got 2. It was I love the flavor of that anyway. And it was so cold and refreshing. So they will come around and take your orders for drinks and stuff like that, which is really cool. Again, you're not buying, they don't give you food like that. You have to go to those restaurants that have the included. food. And speaking of that, let's talk about, we talked a little bit about the food. The way it's set up there at all the barbecue places is buffet style.
Yes.
So, you know, you can go back as many times as you want. You have to find your own table and chairs. They're almost all under protection, you know what I mean? Like kind of in like a little picnic shelter, but I mean a large picnic shelter.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've ever really had too much trouble finding a seat. I feel like that's one thing.
No, we might have waited a minute, like one of us kind of hang back, but
they'll announce when the food is ready, and then or maybe they just tell you on the app or whatever.
On the app.
And then I think we usually wait about an hour because I think it probably gets pretty long. But I don't think we've ever even really waited that long in the line or waited to get a seat.
I thought you meant waited an hour like for food. I'm like, no, we've never. I see. No, we waited to go
there for an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know when would be the busier time because I guess maybe right when it opens would be.
Yeah.
11:30. But that's the other thing to keep in mind. I wanted to bring it up, and it took me a while to find this answer, but I did find the answer. So if you are wanting to bring snacks with you on the beach, because if the lunch isn't open until 11:30 and you're able to get off there around 8:30, maybe you ate an earlier breakfast, or maybe your kids are early risers and they already ate way earlier, so they're going to be hungry. Or you just like to snack on the beach, because I know I do. You can bring snacks off on Castaway Cay specifically, but they need to be prepackaged, factory sealed snacks. Same with water. It's supposed to be sealed. They will usually sell water on your way out. Like you can buy them when you're like about to. Do you remember that?
Vaguely,
am I making that up?
That sounds right.
But again, you can get water and stuff on the
island.
So you don't necessarily have to stress, but it is kind of nice. Like for the girls especially, it's nice to have some already. But you can bring some snacks.
You can't have a snack.
Yeah.
That's going to be your whole morning.
That's the whole morning. So it sets the tone for the day. Necessities. You can get a lot at those sundry shops. If you forget SPF, you broke a flip-flop once. We could not find flip-flops for you. We did learn that the hard way.
And so I ended up buying an ornament that had flip-flops on it that said Castaway Cay.
Which is hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a whole. I have that vlog. We can link it below.
Yeah. But swim gear, you could buy beach towels. Maybe if you did forget the towels in the beginning and you don't want to go back and you just want to buy one. Yeah. We bought a nice Castaway Cay towel.
It's one of my favorite towels.
Me too. We bought it because we didn't need it. We just wanted it. Yeah, that was just a cool. But yeah, you can get all of that kind of stuff. Sunglasses if you forgot them or need them. Goggles. They've got all of that stuff, so you don't need to stress. They've got hats. They've of course got bathrooms everywhere. They have showers.
You missed one. They have Castaway Cay specific merch.
Which gosh.
I got this shirt at the Castaway Cay there.
And it's pretty incredible.
I went back and forth. If you're watching the video version, you can see it here. But we went back and forth so many times. I'm like, am I going to buy it? It was kind of expensive. But I'm like, now I am so glad I bought this. This is one of my favorite shirts. And I wear it like even in Disney World.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's
And people that know, they're like, oh my gosh, is that a Castaway Cay shirt?
Makes me very, very happy.
But what's cool is the Castaway Cay merch that they offer in the gift shops on the island. They do not offer any of that on the ship.
Right. We
verified. Yeah. So if you want it, buy it.
Yeah.
One thing that drives me nuts is sand in between my toes when I don't want there to be sand between my toes. They have rinsing off stations all over the place near the bathrooms and stuff like that. So you'll be able to rinse off. You can dry off. We always recommend bring a fresh, dry outfit head to toe. Don't forget your undergarments. You need everything head to toe. But that way you're not having to get back to the ship and you're all wet in your suit and getting back on the cold ship. Bring dry clothes for everyone.
It's one of my biggest pet peeves is being in a wet bathing suit for longer than I absolutely have to.
Yeah,
can't stand it. Your t-shirt gets all wet. It's awful. Yeah. I want to be in dry clothes.
Right. So here's another thing you can do, but you probably won't be able to, and that is rent a cabana. Yeah. I've never heard of anyone that's been successful. I think there's only 20 total, but it's like one of those things you pay for, and the people that have the earliest access to do it, like the highest levels of the Castaway Cay Club membership, those are the ones that are getting it. So, if people that are concierge level, I think also have earlier access.
They get the earlier access. So like depending on how many Disney cruise lines, Disney cruises you've been on, your Castaway Cay membership, you get more and more. Now they have the new with 25 plus. I'm like, unless you've been on 25 Disney cruises with this new Pearl level, I'm like, you're not going to get one. I don't know what, I don't know how to tell you this,
but you ain't going to get one. So,
or you could spend $75,000 and get one of the concierge level rooms. That's also an option.
And then still pay to get a cabana.
Okay. These are your options, folks. Just sit on a chair.
All right. So let's share what my little packing list, because I'm the packer of the family. Well, you pack your own, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I pack my own and you pack the girls. And
Here's what you absolutely must have on the island. And if you forget any of these, I'm so sorry. No, I'm kidding. All right. Bring a bag that's going to hold everything. That's the thing I almost always forget. So don't forget your sunglasses, your SPF, and hats. Hats. Even if you don't like wearing a hat, bring a hat because it gets so sunny there, you guys. Even just walking around, some kind of flip-flops, Crocs, water shoes, whatever you want. Don't forget your room key cards. The good news is you'll know before you get off the ship because they won't let you off.
True.
Maybe a waterproof little bag for your phone, wallet, room keys.
They sell different kinds where you could like ones
it
that
doesn't
are
have
just
to
for
be
your-
tiny, but you could get the smaller ones. I have a bigger one. Actually, I bought on Castaway Cay.
Yeah.
It's waterproofish. It's not, you know, it zips up, but it's, you know. A book to read if you're into that. Sand toys if you brought them. I did learn that they have foldable sand toys on Amazon. I will be bringing those the next time so then I can pack them. And, dry change of clothes for everyone. Or maybe a cover up, water if it's sealed, snacks if they're sealed. I mean, at the end of the day, you can go back to the ship whenever you want.
Yeah. It's a trek to get over there. But I will say one of the coolest things is you can see the ship and the way it's all laid out, the way it's docked, you get to see your ship over there and it's just beautiful.
It genuinely looks like a painting. It does not look real.
The only thing I would add to that list is if you have one, be sure and bring like a GoPro or the Insta360 or something like that because some of my favorite footage I have is... Those are waterproof cameras. That's why I'm bringing them up. And just floating around and getting footage and whether you're snorkeling and getting footage or whether just filming your kids splashing around, highly recommend. Or get one of those little clear things for your phone where you can film underwater.
Yeah. All right. So we asked you guys on Instagram. We got to go get our sweetie off the school bus in like 5 minutes.
Blast through these.
We are going to blast through. I'm so sorry. We don't have more time. We asked you guys on our Instagram, which is Disneyville Podcast, if you want to follow us over there. What your favorite memories or secret hidden gems on Castaway Cay, whatever you want to share about it. So let's share some of you guys' responses. That is hilarious. Christy Almanza said, accidentally doing a 5K and a half because I was not paying attention to the arrows. That's you.
I did the exact same thing. It was like one of the signs was turned weird and I thought I was supposed to go. So I ran the same loop again.
Oh my gosh. Rach Young 55 says biking to the lookout point. Okay, we have got to do that.
All right. Caitlin B. Hicks said Pelican Plunge is so fun, but it is a workout to swim to it. And then she said the snorkeling underwater statues. I have memories of swimming very far out with my grandpa. That's so cool. Love that.
AJ Cadmus said Jack Sparrow appeared out of literally nowhere on Castaway Cay and took pics with us. I have heard tell of him popping in. I've heard a lot of times he appears in the adult section. I'm like, man, come on. That's so cool.
Queenie said, cabanas are worth it if it's in your budget. Gave us a great home base for relaxing and playing. How did you get it, Queenie? Queenie, tell us your secrets.
Queenie. Oh my gosh. What? The Northern Prepster said, my sister got married there. Oh, cool. And her wedding is how I met my now husband. That just gave me the goosebumps. Awesome. Oh my, first of all, wow, a wedding there. How special. Oh my gosh.
Elena_C said definitely snorkeling and finding all the sunken Disney treasures. Yes.
Oh, that's so cool. Kelsey Siege, said swimming with my daughter during a light rain. We were almost by ourselves. Magic. Yeah, it's always like randomly raining, I will say, in Castaway Cay, I feel like. But it'll be so fast and it's kind of weird, but it's memorable too. So
Taylor Ash_Lynn said the strawberry and banana swirl ice cream. That is all.
Ooh. Becca K. Nechtel said, is it K or Key? I've never been and I just don't understand. I don't know.
I get you.
I thought for years it was just Key, but I guess I might be wrong.
London Tanio Ferris said running the 5K. Yes.
Nice.
It's so fun. You've got to do it this time. I'm so excited.
I will. I got a long list of things to do. So we're going to stop there. But man, what an episode. There's so much to say. Someday we will do a Lighthouse Point one when one day we get to finally see it. I don't know when that day is. It'll be a while. And also, if you like Disney Cruise Line stuff, here soon we will have an episode on the Disney Treasure. Because we will be going on it here soon. So get excited about that. We are jazzed. We are counting down the days. Yes. We'll have vlogs, of course, to come too. Absolutely. So don't forget to shop our merch. We're so excited about it. Definitely check out welcome to Disneyville.com/shop. To see what we have to offer. We're so excited. And thanks for your support all the way, by the way. Yes. Also, all right. I got to go. All right. See you guys later. Love you guys. Bye.